Delighted to welcome back a guest who's been on the show before, talking about his love of cheese. He joins us today to talk about his love of jazz and jazz food. Welcome back, Coronation Street star Sean Wilson.
Hello, Selina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. So I'm in the first corner, am I?
You are. You're in the first culinary corner of the year. What an accolade, eh?
Yeah.
Now then, I want to know all about this book because it's very different to cheese, and I believe it all started with a documentary about your cheese business.
Well, it kind of started because a lady asked me to do a commission. I do lots of art, and she asked me to do a commission of her past husband and her daughter. So I did, and it turned out rather well, and we had the big reveal, and we had tears, and I know. And she said, well, can I be honest with you and tell you that I've been following you on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm loving the artwork. I'm loving the cheese. I'm loving the fact that you've worked in a Michelin restaurant. And I have to come clean and tell you I'm a publisher. And I was just wondering if you'd like to put your art, your cooking skills all together into a book. And I was like, whoa, yes, I would.
How wonderful.
So that's how we met.
That's incredible. So how do you have a cookery book with recipes in and art as well then?
So this is called Jazz Food, and I have decided that much to my, it seems to be my wants through most of my life, I think I've been marching to the beat of a different drum, Selina. So I wanted to march to the beat of a different drum. I wanted to create a cookbook because I'm a big cook and I have hundreds of cookbooks. I wanted to create a cookbook that I can pick up time and again. So it's a usable book in the kitchen. We're twisting recipes in a lovely way, not just for twisting's sake, but in a lovely way that will bring them to the fore. We have playlists, so you can put your phone over the QR code and you can listen to my jazz playlist from that particular region, which is a first, by the way, in cookbooks.
That's incredible. Now, I've never heard of that, but I can imagine that it'll probably go viral now. You've started it off.
Well, and then, of course, I have 20 pieces of artwork in there. And that has been one of my biggest joys, to bring a visual side to a cookbook rather than it just be, hello, I'm the chef, here's 60 recipes, here's where you can buy some of the ingredients, which is normally what cookbooks are like. So this is completely walking on the other side of the road, if you know what I mean.
That's incredible. So who is it obviously brings together your love of art, of jazz, and of course cooking. Who's your favourite jazz singer then?
Oh, favourite jazz singer. Oh my God, it's got to be Nina Simone.
Yeah, beautiful voice.
By a country mile. And I have a series of Nina pictures that I've painted over the 15 months, one of which is in the book. And it still touches me to look at that picture, and I'm the artist.
That's incredible. What about Louis Armstrong?
Louis Armstrong, right up there, one of the pioneers. He took jazz out of New Orleans and brought it to the world, and he should always be thanked for that. You know, he had a way of being able to integrate. And that was difficult for the black people that came off the cotton fields. But he made that step. And then now jazz, which is what I'm trying to say, that jazz and food both came from very frugal beginnings. But now they're both art forms. And Louis Armstrong is one of the chief protagonists for making it into an art form.
Yes, so true, so true. Now, there are 44 recipes in the book, obviously, as well as the art and the QR codes for the music. Does each piece of art have a certain recipe and a certain song that goes with it?
Actually, no, the pieces of art are kind of introducing each section, and then we intersperse every now and again where we felt it was right to add that piece of art. So we have sections, and if I go to the beginning of the book here, let's have a look. We have So we have my reasons for jazz food, and there's 12 pages on that. And then, but we have New Orleans, Chicago to New York, Europe, swing era, Cuban fusion, Latin jazz. I mean, you can imagine the recipes that are going to go with Latin jazz, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I've been trying to do, really. In the beginning of each section, we'll have a piece of art.
What a great idea. What a great idea for a book. Something a little different.
Yes. Something like you can put on the coffee table or in the kitchen, you know, and I think that's the way forward, I think, for cookbooks.
Yeah, me too. You're not going to give up cheese anytime soon, though, presumably?
Well, the cheese industry for the small artisan, of which I am one of, but very proudly a small artisan, has been difficult since COVID, as all the prices of everything has gone sky high. And we weren't working on massive margins to begin with. But we're making cheese in the way it was always made 300-400 years ago. So things haven't been as easy as they could be if I was selling in loads of supermarkets and I had a big conglomerate company. But then would I have had as much pride in what I'm doing? So yes, it's still there, but we're hanging on by a thread.
Oh, bless you. Well, I know that some of the recipes in your book include cheese, including the Midwest crisp cheddar coated ribeye steak.
Yes. Now, listen to those words back. Crisp cheddar coated ribeye steak.
Oh, you say it like a Marks and Spencer's advert.
Well, I'm just it evokes pictures in the mind, and I, you know, when I came up with this recipe, and of course I had to make it for the photography session, and I'd researched it, and I was reading a book by a guy called Francis Malman. This is what I do, Selina. So Francis Malman is an Argentinian Patagonian chef, and he very much works in the outdoors. He had 7-8 Michelin restaurants, sold them all, went to live on a little island in Patagonia, and he wrote a barbecue book. So in I go to the barbecue book, and I'm very impressed with what he's doing. Clearly, he's a master chef, but decided that he's going to go back to basics, and so I enjoyed the book. So the next day, I think, I'll make a recipe from that book. So I got some cheddar, very nice Ivy's Reserve, which I use now from Wyke Farms. I'm always using that cheese. It's gorgeous. And I grated it with some sourdough breadcrumbs. I took the ribeye steak, which will be 2 fingers thick, very important for a ribeye steak, that is always 2 fingers thick.
Okay.
And then I painted mustard over the steak and then dipped it into the dry breadcrumbs and cheddar. Whacked it onto a dry griddle. There was lots of smoke and there was lots of hissing and lots of this, that and t'other. But the cheese and the sourdough crisped on the outside, like it was like really crispy. Yet I cut through into the steak and it was beautifully medium rare on the inside. So there I am eating it with Carol, my partner, and we're both looking at each other going, oh my God, these flavours. And I was eulogizing about Francis Malman. Anyway, I went to his book to find the recipe, and it's not there. It doesn't exist in his book. So it's something that I must have conjured in my dream or something.
Oh, wow.
I was absolutely convinced, and I've been through the book now 20 times, can't find it. But I was inspired by Francis Malman.
Wow.
And it is a beautiful steak.
So how do you make it then?
So you make it with a very good butcher-bought ribeye steak. Very important. Don't go to the supermarket. Go to your local butcher. Show him the 2 fingers side by side and say, I want it that thick. Okay?
Probably just be careful how you're doing that.
That's why I said side by side. But you will get a lovely, properly hung piece of ribeye steak. Very important. Then get your liquidizer out, throw in some sourdough, get it to a lovely crumb, throw it in a bowl, grate over your Ivy's Reserve Wyke Farms cheddar, get the English mustard out, paint the steak. But while you're doing this, put your griddle onto the heat and really get it to a good heat. Maybe 5 minutes on there. And then basically you just whack it onto the griddle and then sit on your hands. It's very important. Sit on your hands for 4 to 5 minutes. Don't turn it over too soon. You need that crispiness. And that, basically, Selina, is it.
That's simple, isn't it? That's simple. So what do? You put the cheddar on top?
No, you get the steak that you've painted with the mustard. So, of course, it's sticky, and you put it through the breadcrumb and cheddar mixture, and it sticks to the mustard. So then it's wholly coated in this mixture.
I see.
And then gently offer it up to the griddle, which takes very easily to it, and but just be patient and let it crisp on the underside before you turn it.
Yeah, sit on your hands, as you say.
Absolutely. But can you imagine that lovely, mature, cheddary, crispy flavour on the outside of a ribeye steak?
I'm imagining it now, which is not good at this time of the day because my stomach starts rumbling.
Yeah, mine actually, to be fair.
Well, that's on page 72 of the book called Jazz Food by Sean Wilson, which we are selling on our website as always. But you can also buy it from rachelcookpublishing.co.uk, and Sean's previous books are Great Northern Cookbook and Cheddar Gorged. Next one, you going to have another book out?
Oh, well, we have been briefly talking about it, and I'm thinking either a book on blue cheese called Still Got the Blues.
Oh.
Or we have a couple of titles, but I'm trying to stick with the music side of it as well, which then opens it for some art too, of course.
It does. Well, do let us know if and when you have another one out. We're still dining off, excuse the pun, when you were last on and you mentioned your smelly Apeth cheese. We've had that on the promo for a long time.
Yeah, and that's brought me 40 international awards over the 14 years.
I know, isn't it by royal appointment as well?
Well, unofficially, I did ask if I could advertise it, and he said, "Oh no, you can't do. We can't do anything official about this." But the Queen's aide did take some smelly Apeth, and the Queen did eat said cheese.
Nice. One more question for you, Sean. Would you ever go back to Corrie?
I think Coronation Street's on a different path at the moment, and good luck to it. When I left it well.
Yeah. Say no more. Say no more. You've got enough to do anyway without acting as well. You're too busy.
I guess so.
Sean Wilson, thank you so much for being on the show again.
No, thank you, Selina. Thanks ever so much.
Happy New Year to you. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year to you.